Today, we are talking about homeowners associations because there are definitely things you need to know and dig into before you buy a home that's in an HOA. And it's about a lot more than just the association fees. So keep listening, give this video a thumbs up, and let's make your home buying journey a lot easier. The first thing that you need to know when you have a homeowners association, there are rules and they are not optional. You do have to follow them. Here in Columbia, South Carolina, most homeowners associations do not have very restrictive rules. And the ones in place are usually there to maintain a reasonable amount of conformity and to make sure that people are maintaining their property and not just building something that's an eyesore. And this is really to protect your property value. But in other parts of the country, you might see some that are substantially stricter. You could have rules about how long your garbage can be outside, if visitors are allowed to park on the street and for how long, how often you have to paint the exterior of your home, even how long your garage door can be open. And there might even be size restrictions on the type of dog that you have. It all just depends on what is normal in your area and what is recorded in the covenants and restrictions and other rules and regulations that the homeowners association has. And that is where you're going to find all the rules for the HOA, and that is where you're going to learn what you can and cannot do. The second thing you need to know is there are fees, and those fees are determined by factors like the size of the neighborhood and the different amenities that it offers. A neighborhood with pool, tennis courts, a clubhouse, playgrounds, that's going to have a higher fee than a neighborhood that only provides some common area maintenance around the entrance sign. If you have 1,000 homes in a neighborhood, the HOA amount per household is going to be less than if you only had, say, 250 homes receiving like the exact same services and amenities, because you have more people carrying and sharing that burden. There can also be one-time fees that are involved. And they're involved every time that a home is bought and sold in that HOA. These one-time fees could be a transfer fee. They could be an initiation fee, some type of setup or access fee to your amenities. You could see any combination of those when you buy a home in an HOA. And a lot of times the seller just doesn't even know that those fees exist. And then you as the buyer get surprised at closing. So I always recommend calling the HOA and confirming those association fee dues as well as any other one-time fees that you might have when the property changes hands or for you as the new owner of the home. Third, and this is big, there are consequences to breaking the rules and not paying your fees. And those consequences could cost you money. Your violation could start out with responses as simple as a letter in the mail telling you about the violation and how long you have to resolve it and become compliant. It could be anything from not cutting your grass for a really long time, or something else like maybe you built something on your property and you didn't get approval for it. As that escalates, you could also be fined. And a lot of people don't know this, but the HOA can fine you for violating the rules. And a lot of times the fines depend on exactly what the offense is and how many times you've violated that rule, how long this has been going on. If you don't pay those fines, and if you don't pay your HOA fees, a lot of people also do not know the homeowners association in some states can actually foreclose on your home much in the same way that a mortgage lender can if you don't pay your mortgage. They do have the ability to pursue you for those debts and even take the home away. And there have been some crazy, scary cases across the country about HOAs that have done that. Their ability to do that is going to depend on the laws in your state and where you are. But I tell you this to make you aware of the fact that you can't just decide not to pay your fees. And if you get fined, you can't just decide, oh, well, I'm just going to cut the grass and I'm not going to pay that fine, because it could come back to bite you in the butt later on. And a lot of times it will happen when you become a seller trying to sell your home. If there are fines or unpaid dues for a couple of months or whatever, your closing entity is going to find out what you haven't paid, and you're going to have to pay them in order to sell the home. You're going to have to pay them at closing. So it doesn't just disappear when you're trying to sell the home. And especially think about it, I don't know many buyers that are going to willingly pick up that expense for you as the seller. Make sure that you educate yourself, protect yourself, get the information that you need to make a good purchase decision. What you want to do is to get a copy of the covenants and restrictions. And they're generally very long. It's a legal document. Attorneys wrote them. They're really boring. It's going to say things like if you're allowed to have chickens or goats or other animals, how many domesticated pets you might have, sometimes what the pool rules could be. And the burden is on you as the buyer to read this. And if you don't understand something, to reach out to your agent or your attorney or to the Homeowners Association for clarification. You also want to make sure that you verify the fees. This is something that your realtor and your closing attorney or title company can help you with. And it can be done even if you want to do it yourself with the simple phone call to the HOA. You give them the property information and they're going to verify what the fees are. You also want to make sure that you confirm the HOA what's included for those fees, because a lot of times sellers and listing agents, they don't always know. They think they know, and then the seller tells their agent the wrong thing, and that wrong thing ends up being in the MLS, and of course that wrong thing is also on the seller's disclosure. So if it's important to you, make sure that you verify it, and you can do that before you make an offer on the home, or you could include that as part of your inspection or due diligence period. So there's your rundown on homeowners associations. I hope that this makes your real estate journey easier, whether you are moving up to your very first home or to your next home. Be sure to check the description for links to home buyer and relocation resources just for you. Hit like and subscribe. Thanks for listening, and I will see you back soon.